Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 12th, and today is the memorial of St. Josaphat. This is Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio and the Ave Maria Radio app. I'm Matthew Handley. Coming up, Noelle Merring discusses why some women are leaving the church. But first, this news. A group of protesters carrying Nazi flags gathered outside an American Legion post that was hosting a theater performance of The Diary of Anne Frank on Saturday night. A group of roughly 10 people gathered outside the American Legion Devereaux Post 141 while the play was going on inside. The Livingston County Sheriff's Office asked the group to leave the post parking lot, and they did. An individual approached the group and an argument occurred. However, the situation remained peaceful. A strike at the University of Michigan Health was averted. This comes after a, quote, memorandum of understanding was reached yesterday with the United Michigan Medicine Allied Professionals, AFT Local 6730. About 4,500 workers were set to hold a one-day strike today. The Flint City Council was deadlocked for several hours last night as they attempted to elect a new president. Every year on the second Monday of November, the council must elect new officers. They held over 100 rounds of voting, but had not elected a president by 10:30 p.m. A tornado touched down briefly in Howell over the weekend. Yesterday, the National Weather Service confirmed an EF0 tornado struck the area on Sunday night in a wooded marshland. The twister caused damage to a construction site and several homes, as well as downing trees. No serious injuries were reported. Traffic alert for you this morning. Beginning today, a section of I-94 and I-69 near the Blue Water Bridge in Port Huron will be closed for construction. It's on a bridge and it allows MDOT crews to repair the deck pavement. The work is expected to be completed on Friday. The New Year's Eve ball drop in Ludington could be on the USA Today's Best of list. The paper is asking people to vote on the best drops in the country. The ball drop in Ludington has been a tradition for the past 15 years and gets high marks for the New Year's Eve crowds for its spectacle. But the ball drop in Ludington is facing competition from a blue crab drop in Maryland, the possum drop in Georgia, and the great pine cone drop in Arizona. Voting is now open on the USA Today website. And 20 seminarians took the next step towards the priesthood late last week. Gaylord Bishop Jeffrey Walsh presided over the Mass of installation for lectors and acolytes at the Sacred Heart Major Seminary Chapel. 9 seminarians were installed as lectors and 11 seminarians were installed as acolytes. The seminarians were from the Archdiocese of Detroit, Diocese of Kalamazoo, Diocese of Lansing, Diocese of Marquette, Diocese of Gary, and the Society of Our Lady of the Most Holy Trinity. You're listening to Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio. Your local weather's next. Now this.
The leading Catholic voices are on EWTN Radio.
We want listeners to see that God has a unique and unrepeatable plan for their lives and how to rejoice in the work God's doing in their hearts and in their homes.
God wants to set us free to live more abundantly. More to Life explores what that really looks like, living it out in our everyday life and relationships.
More to Life with Dr. Greg and Lisa Popchak.
We are looking at mostly sunny skies today in the Motor City. Our high will reach 49. Tonight will be mostly clear with lows around 36. Tomorrow will be partly sunny with highs around 53. Thursday, the rain returns and temperatures will be in the lower 50s. It will head out by Friday, though. Highs then will be in the mid-50s. Right now in Detroit, it is 40 with fair skies. You're listening to Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio. We are looking at mostly sunny skies in the Saginaw Valley today. Our high will reach 48. Tonight will be mostly clear with lows around 30. Tomorrow will be partly sunny with highs around 52. Thursday, the rain returns and temperatures will be in the lower 50s. It will head out by Friday, though. Highs then will be in the mid-50s. Right now in Saginaw, it is 37 with overcast skies. You're listening to Michigan Mornings from Ave Maria Radio. For the first time in decades, men are more likely to remain religious than women. Noelle Merring of the Ethics and Public Policy Center joined Teresa Tomeo on Catholic Connection to discuss this trend.
I think there's two things happening. One's external pressure and one is sort of an internal weakness. So external pressure goes to the heart of what you're referencing. I think, as the culture has become more chaotic morally and more detached bodily, I think that one of the things that's happening is that we really are divorced from what our bodies need. No sense of natural law, certainly, and, as you see with the transgender movement, a real kind of antipathy and almost a hatred of the body. And that affects women and children more immediately and more directly than it does to men. And I think young women leaving the church is really reflecting that. So we are more vulnerable in our embodiment, or we can bear and nurture life. And that means that an ideology that is telling us that our bodies mean nothing is really not able to make any sort of sense of that vulnerability. And so we have to kind of constantly have these ways in which we're trying to deny that we're vulnerable and trying to make up for this disparity, and that should be made up for by good men and good women marrying and being faithful to each other and making a family and protecting that vulnerability in that way. But once we abandon all of that for the sexual revolution, it really becomes a matter of us feeling that we're being victimized, which oftentimes women are, that disparity means an injustice at the root of society. And so we have to make up for all those things with things like contraception and abortion and free sex and all these things. And I think that is really hard for women at that point then to make any sense at all of the church's teaching against such things. I think the church has been emasculated over the years. We've become feminized in certain ways. We've sort of shirked away. Not everyone. We have amazing, wonderful shepherds and people in the pews for certain. But the ethos of the sexual revolution has affected us a lot, and so we've become really sort of ashamed of our teachings, and I feel like that they're going to turn people away, and so we don't preach them as much, even to one another as in friendship or as a church.
Catholic Connection is on weekdays at 8 a.m. here on Ave Maria Radio. Pope Pius XI says in designing his church, God worked with such skill that in the fullness of time, it would resemble a single great family embracing all men. I'm Matthew Handley. That does it for this edition of Michigan Mornings on a Tuesday. Lord willing, I will talk to you again tomorrow. And until then, goodbye.